Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you might have noticed, on my computer there's a cutout on this case and you can actually see the power supply in here. Now that doesn't look too great, so I've decided, well, as I'm already busy with power supplies and almost all of my stuff is in pieces, that I might as well be putting this in my system, because the cables on this looks absolutely beautiful, and I've showed this in the other video. Let me show you exactly step by step how to replace the power. So the first thing I did, which you can already see here, is the two side panels I have on my case. I already removed that. There's always some sort of screw, maybe, I know the newer cases these days have at the back, there's like a button you have to press and then it releases it. So yeah, you'll just have to check that on your own, because there's a lot of different types of ways you can take off your side panels, but mine is tempered glass, so I placed that in a safe place where I know no one will knock it over or it will get scratched, because if you have a side panel and it's glass and it gets scratched, that is really not nice to look at and it's not fun at all. It's really irritating. But yeah, I removed the side panels, so now I can get full access to the front and the back of my computer. So basically what you want to do is at the back, and just remove all of the other cables that you have plugged in, so your display, your USBs, audio, all of that, networking and all that stuff. So now you can see we have got full access to all of the cables. It is not perfectly managed, but it's good enough. So now what I would do is I would just basically start disconnecting all of my power supply cables. As you can see, there's one, here's another one. This is actually for, I think, for the case lights or something like that. And just try to free up all the cables. So as you can see, here's a Velcro strap that I have to take out. So what you want to do is you just want to go around and take out all the power connectors. So right here for my GPU, I have the two 8-pin connectors. They just have a little clip here that you just press and then it releases. And then I'm going to simultaneously push the cable through from the front, but I'm also going to pull it through from the back. And just make careful that the cable doesn't snag on anything, which it is already doing here by me. But then you just work your way through. Just start gently. Don't yank on the cables, because you can actually break something. Not necessarily with the cable itself, but it could get snagged on your motherboard or maybe a RAM stick or something, and then you can rip that off, and that would be a really bad day. Right, so that is my graphics card now, and those cables are now free. Now, the next cables I'm going to take out is for the 24-pin motherboard. Now that's normally a big one. It's normally to the side, maybe. Sometimes it's up above, but rarely these days. It's normally towards the right side of your motherboard if you're looking at from just from head on. So you just want to again press the clip and then kind of wiggle it. This is normally the connector it's in the tightest. So you just want to press the clip so it releases. Now the next thing is pretty difficult to show you, because right here towards the left, on the top side of the motherboard, there is also two connectors, and those are for the CPU power. Now in my case it's a bit difficult to get up because I have this radiator here, but again you just want to press in the clips and then sort of wiggle it to the side. And if your motherboard flexes a little bit, that's fine, just don't let it flex too much, because it could crack and break. And yeah, so now that cable is free as well. Alright, turning it around again, as you can see, here is my graphics card. This is the graphics card power. Right, so as you can see now, this cable is free as well, along with this bunch. And now I have to start working with the 24-pin. Alright, and there you can see it is actually free now. Now, I can actually go and check now and see, well, all my cables is right here. There's nothing else connected to anywhere in my system. So now the way mine will work is it actually is attached to a bracket. So it has two thumb screws, captive thumb screws. So I just undo the screws, and then my whole power supply pulls out as one unit, and then you just have to carefully just feed all the cables through like so. Alright, so as you can see now, my whole power supply is now free, and it is still attached to this bracket, but I'm going to undo these 4 screws right now, and then the bracket is free, and then I can get the new power supply and just install that in here. Alright, so right here is the new power supply. This is basically the orientation. This one is basically the orientation that it will be inside of my. So right here we have the back side where obviously your power cord comes in with your switch, and then right here you have all of your modular cables. And this is the other one. So this is actually the only problem I had with it, is that this is a great power supply. It just had this it's an ugly sticker, let's just be honest about it. So we already have these screws that we took out from the other power supply, because that wasn't the case. And now all we need to do is place this bracket. So this bracket basically screws into the back of my case. We just have to line up the holes in this bracket to the ones on the power supply. And then we just put in the screws, and there it is. So that's basically the whole package. Now what I could do now is I could install this directly in my case here in the bottom where the shroud and everything is, but then I'll have to deal with putting in the cables, and just that'll be a little bit of a hassle. So I'm going to get all of the cables that I need. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting all of these connectors into the back of the power supply. Right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these cables together, just like this. So just bundle them up so they're all together. Then I'm going to feed this through the back, just like that. I'm going to take them, bring them out the side here, and then I'm just going to gently pull the cables through and put the power supply into the bracket where it goes. And I'm actually going to fasten it right away. Alright, now I think I'm gonna start routing the cable. Alright, so my CPU power one is in. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is actually route my 24-pin power. The next thing I'm gonna do is take my PCIe power. Now this is for my graphics card. And then the last cable we still have here at the back is just for SATA power. So the one end needs to go into my 2.5-inch drive right here. Alright, so here we have the two leads. I'm just going to put this little connector block together and then put that into the graphics card connector. Right, then I'm going to hold the graphics card here at the bottom, just support it, and then we're going to press it in, and there was like a really soft click, just for that clip to catch on to the latch. And then I just do the same for the other one. Alright, now it makes a big loop here, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come to the back and I'm going to just pull the cables back a bit and try and push them just under the shroud of the back here. Alright, now that actually looks pretty clean. Just going to plug this back in. This is my RGB. Alright. And there you go. Now it's actually just like that. It's that simple. Placing in another power supply. Okay, so just for a quick comparison, right here I have my old power supply. So as you can see there, it had this really nasty color scheme going on, and then this one was looking much cleaner. And as well, maybe, I don't know if you remember the connectors from here, but this just looks much cleaner, all the cables just going cleanly back. But anyway guys, that is literally how easy it is to replace or just swap out your power supply. You just have to unplug all the connectors, pull the power supply out, put the new one back in, connect all the connectors, and that is basically it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Please leave your comments down below if you have any suggestions. Maybe you're wondering how to do something. Maybe I can make a video about it. And then also remember to hit the subscribe and like button, and also the bell icon to get notified of any future videos. And until the next video guys, bye bye.